Hello everyone, this is Genesis, and I decided I'd do another quick update video. Deciding to try and talk this time. Bear with me, I've never done this before, so if I stutter or have a brain fart, I'm just gonna have to work through that. Okay. Anyway, so, I've been shown a lot of videos of Gentle Sun and Applejack and all their races, and Gentle Sun has retired. And he did make it into the Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, he had a fast growth, so he didn't last very long. But I thought I would show his final stats, since I haven't really shown any of that information. He had 82 speed and staying, had 76 stamina. Unfortunately, a really low power at 38, but he did have great braking at 93, and then decent heart at 79, and response 70. And he did get better toughness from his mother, so that was good, because if you see up here, Gentle House only had 30. And he only had 6 races, but I got him later in the year. He was already 3 years old by the time I managed to pick him up in game. But yeah, Gentle Sun did really well for himself, all things considered, and he did have a lot of good abilities. He had Last Corner Leader and Gate Rocket, and then Flat Master, Slow Track OK, and Tight OK. The last ability he didn't unlock, I'm pretty sure, is Spurt, because Gentle House has Spurt, but he never was really in a position to be able to use it in order to unlock it, so yep, that is Gentle Sun. He was in 11 races and won 10 of them, and 7 of them were G1 wins. We go to the pasture. I'll show you the current brood mares. Since Gentle Sun retired, he was able to unlock the full pasture, so I have all 8 slots open now. And see, we did 3 breedings this year. This is going to be the last baby for Rye Babe. This will be her 4th one. But every single stud I bred her to, she was a perfect match with, so that was pretty crazy. And X Factor is the last one that she is a perfect match with. So, again, these are her stats. I think you've seen her for a couple of times now. Then we've got Frugal Lark, which I did not breed her this year, but somebody in the comments recommended breeding her with Fresh Light, and that was a really good match for them, so I'll give that a try as well. I think the username was the Cat's Meow, so thank you for letting me know. And we've got Scabbit here. Scabbit is a really good broodmare for me. I used her in my other game I have offline that I haven't been showing, and she had just a monster mare for me with rare emeralds, and I'm hoping to try them again. But that mare came out with SS and speed, staying, stam, and power, and when I raced her in the Dream series, she actually was beating out Happy Plane for predictions of coming in first. So really excited. Hopefully they can do it again for me. We'll see. Every baby's different, so may not happen again, but I'm gonna try. And then we got Favorite Wish in here. I didn't breed her this year, but she's a really good mare for me as well. And then Happy Ending. This is her first time in the pasture, and actually the first time I'm using her on 2004. I've used her on 2003, bred her with Tender Value, and that was really good for me, so I'm trying it again here. And then Fresh Light and Scabbit were actually a perfect match as well, so we'll see how that turns out. I will breed her with Gentle Sun next year. He didn't get any babies this year, but Scabbit's quite compatible with him, so hopefully we can get a good foal from them. So I still have Tender Value in here. He's been in here forever, but I want to try him with Applejack as well and see what happens. So there's Gentle Sun's final stats for the pasture. Didn't get as good of a classification or eval, but unfortunately he teetered out pretty quick, so I didn't get to race him as much as I wanted to. Got Beauty Value in here. He was awesome. He won 20 G1 races for me. Would have tried to keep going with him, but unfortunately he was starting to fall off, so couldn't try for Wonder Horse, but maybe another time. And then X Factor's definitely staying in here. I love his stamina, and he's had good foals for me before, so hopefully he can do it again. And then lastly, have Fresh Light. I was kind of actually glad Gentle Sun had a fast growth rate, so I could get him here sooner rather than later, and that way Fresh Light could stay in here longer as well. Otherwise, Fresh Light would have gone here, and Gentle Sun would have overwritten him before I could get the full pasture unlocked, and I didn't want to lose him that quickly, so glad that we were able to get him in here. Because he has really good abilities, Last Corner Leader, Free, and Slow Track okay, and he won 20 G1s for me as well, so he is a really good horse. And then we'll go to the foals. We've got Geisha Doll in here. This is from Tender Value and Rybabe, and that's the third perfect match foal. Curious to see how she does. Or no, this is actually the second perfect match. Cheeky Monkey was the first one, and then the next foal in the newborns. And then Little Dove is from Desert Diver and Frugal Lark. Her stars are starting to look pretty nice now. Yeah. I've seen this pairing done as well before, so I wanted to try that. I've never actually done it before, so curious to see how she turns out. And then the new babies you guys have not seen yet. We've got Deja Vu, because I'm pretty sure I've seen Rybabe have a baby in here before. And this one is with Dynamic Jewel. This is the only foal Dynamic Jewel is able to have before he got booted out. So hopefully she does really well, so we can continue on his bloodline. And they're both front runners, so hopefully she'll be one too. And we've got Thunderbird. His Occult from X Factor and Frugal Lark. And hopefully that one's a good pairing as well. I've never done it before. And we've got Cheap Thrills from Beauty Value and Favorite Wish. So hopefully, I'm hoping she does well as also, since Beauty Value was pretty awesome. And then this year, I haven't bought them yet, but I wanted to show this. This is pretty crazy. Cheeky Monkey and Desert Angel are in here ready to be purchased, but I was really surprised when Desert Angel came out higher points than Cheeky Monkey because he had the better stars in the pasture. So let's see, he ended up at 4 in flex, 4 in future, 5 flex, 5 power, and 3 calm. Where she was 4 in future, only 2 in flex, 4 in power, and 4 in calm. So I'm really curious to see how these two turn out in comparison to each other and whether or not the prices make a difference. I find generally that the pricing is often based on their longevity. Like if they have a fast growth rate, they tend to be lower in points. If I look at my information here, see, Applejack was 99,000 points versus Gentle Sun only being 90,000, and you'll see Applejack's crazy growth rate here in a minute. But yeah, curious to see how those turn out. And I do need to pick up some new horses this year. I am grabbing, let's see where she at, Scotch Bird. I've used her before, and I like her instant response and comeback, and she's produced some pretty good foals for me before, so I want to get her back in there again. I do not have a horse to race from Riviera or Pink, and I'm undecided whether or not to get one or not, just to have for the sake of racing, since I have so many horses already that I need to focus on. And constantly trying to keep the trainers' relationships up as well is kind of tiring. So we'll see. If you guys have any ideas whether or not it's good to make sure you always have a horse to race from each trainer, let me know. I have noticed one time before in my other game I was trying to get Happy Ending from Silver, and he was at, I think he was distanced when I tried to pick her up, and she wasn't showing up. It was in his stables, but it wasn't showing for me to purchase in the first timers until he got to neutral. As soon as I got him to neutral, suddenly she was showing up for me to purchase. So yeah, I'm not sure if that is a frequent occurrence or if that was just some kind of glitch in the game, but if you guys know, let me know for sure so I can know for the future. Alright, so currently racing, I've got Eastern Knife. I do not plan on putting him in the pasture. I just needed a horse from Nozawa to race. Like, his stats are really great, but he passes on Lisa's will way too often. And I've triggered it like 3 or 4 times in races, and I really don't want to pass that on. Wonder Whale is currently... I can retire him. I was mainly keeping him around longer because I want to get the international title, and he was able to get that back in May. But if I can continue on this year and try and get the turf for him, then he can get King of Kings as well. So we'll give it a try, see what happens. But he's already won 19 races, and 17 of them were G1 wins, so he's an awesome horse. Electric Arrow's another one I just kind of got at the time. Actually, no, he was given to me by the trainer, so I don't know. I haven't bred him before on 2004. He was great on 2003, but I don't know. I heard a rumor that his stats don't pass very well, so I'm undecided on what to do with him just yet. But he is doing really well. He's won all his races, so we'll see. Rare Emerald is definitely going back in the pasture to try for that monster horse again. He's currently trying for the turf as well, because I have seen before where the horses tie for first, they both win the title, and then a friend of mine confirmed that if both of the horses that tie for first are yours, both your horses get it. So I'm trying to get the turf with Rare Emerald and Wonder Whale at the same time. I'm not sure if it's going to work out or not, but we'll see what happens. Worst case scenario, I have to forfeit Wonder Whale. So I'd rather Rare Emerald get it since he's going to have a little bit more sustainability. And Wonder Whale's almost teetered out at this point. Here's Applejack. She's been really awesome for me. I was skeptical about her at first because her mom was a B-ranked horse, Old City, and I wasn't originally planning on breeding her, but I decided to go ahead and give it a try just to see what happened, and she's been really awesome for me. She's won 13 out of 15 races. She's came in second at the Spring Mile Cup. There's no way she was beating Green Crystal. And 9 of them been G1 wins. She did get the GWS sprint, which you saw from one of the other videos. Fortunately, she has counterclockwise not good out of nowhere. So not sure what to think about that. I've happened to me a couple of times now. It's kind of frustrating, but it hasn't seemed to bother her a whole lot. And I do know her last question mark is fast pace okay. I just haven't been able to unlock it again because I had to redo a race. And as you can see here with her crazy growth curve, she's been up at the peak forever. It looks like she's just now starting to come back down. So yeah, she's got a lot of longevity in her still, so we'll keep on racing her. Looks pretty much like her dad, just slightly lower stats, because all of his like speed, staying power, and heart were in the, I think even braking were in the red. They were in SS, but her mom pulled her down a little bit, but still I'm glad that she took after her dad more than her mom. And then I picked up Obvious Gourmet. I had her in my other file, and like all of her babies were awesome. I'm pretty sure I had like 4 or 5 of them in the pasture, which is probably not good to do. They're all getting ready to start inbreeding soon, so I gotta keep an eye on that. But I'm hoping she can have some good babies on here as well. It's kind of why I've been cutting back on how many foals I have per year, just so I can focus more on a few rather than stress about racing 5 or 6 at a time. And then General Pleasure here, same thing, I've raced her before, had good foals, so she's definitely going back in the pasture. Stable Chime, I needed a horse from Parks. I do not plan on breeding him unless something amazing happens, but I need more horses with higher stamina. And I have a lot of dirt horses right now, so even though he has really good abilities, Spurt, Close Race okay, Slow Track okay, and Big Race okay. And then Tiger Lily, I don't know if you guys have seen her yet. I haven't really shown any of her races. Surprisingly, she only was like 61,000 points. And I think it's because of her toughness. She has really low toughness from her dad, unfortunately. But she's a front runner like her mom, and she got pretty good speed, staying power, and the heart and response are awesome. Not quite sure what her stamina and temperament are yet. I'm kind of waiting to see what the stamina is, though I have a feeling it's after her mom. I think it's on the lower end based on how she races. She races all the way up at the front, and then she just kind of burns out pretty quick like Dear Son did, so I have to keep an eye on when I spurt her. But she does have Front Runner and Gate Rocket. Not sure on the other two yet. And she has won all of her races, even with the quick drop and stam on the stretch, so she's doing pretty well. Helping me get some of the G1 races for my collection to try and unlock personal wins, so yep, she's been doing pretty good for herself. Yeah, I think that's all the new horses, and I'll be picking up the newbies here soon and Scotchbird, and I'll decide on whether or not I want to grab anybody else. Probably won't, but we'll see. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you can, drop a like. I'd appreciate it a whole lot, and I will see you guys next time.